So today's video, an article sent to me by Red Pill Philosophy viewer by the name of David. Thanks for tipping me off, David. The article title is, "Why are so many women searching for ultra-violent porn?" That's right, we all hear, oh, violence against women, you gotta end violence against women this, violence against women that. And yet women seem to be literally, according to this researcher, was given full access to Pornhub's search data. Here it is. A quarter of straight porn searches by women are for videos featuring violence against their own sex. A quarter. 25%. But why are so many women so keen to see videos tagged with, say, painful anal crying, public disgrace, or extreme brutal gang bang? And by the way, guys, viewer discretion is advised. This video is for mature adults, not for little butthurt children who don't like hearing the facts of human nature. The article goes, "It isn't uncommon for women to have fantasies about coercive sex, as the findings of a study into women's rape fantasies from 2012 indicate. The University of North Texas and University of Notre Dame played 355 young women an erotic rape fantasy. They played them a tape to see how aroused they became. And it says here, the tape's material, derived from the kind of storylines often found in romance novel, tells the tale of a male protagonist who is strongly attracted to the female character. He expresses a desire for sex with her, but she's clearly unresponsive. He attempts to convince her without success, and she continues to refuse his advances. The male character then overpowers and rapes her. She resists throughout, and at no time gives consent." Really, I feel like this is all proof of this theory I've had for a long time, that men hold the key to sexuality. I mean that literally, and I mean that symbolically. You know, a key, think about a key. You insert a key into a keyhole, and it unlocks whatever you're trying to open. I have a little Bluetooth speaker here, and I was fascinated by this like a year ago, because if you look closely at the speaker, there's an on-off switch here, and the off switch, when it's to the right and it's off, when it's on this side and it's off, it's on the symbol for off is a O. It's like a letter O or a 0. But when you switch the thing on, see, it's on now. When you move the switch to the right, it's on. Now there's a 1. The on is on a 1, or like a little stick looking object. And I find it interesting how symbolically the 1 and the 0 means off and the 1 means on. And it's almost like symbolic of the penis and the vagina. And basically what this is saying, if you want to talk symbolically, the 1 is the power. The 1 is the life. And the O is off. It's just sitting there. And I think that's kind of symbolically representative of male and female sexuality. And I think that's interesting because if you look at like the penis and the vagina, this is where it gets really deep. So hear me out. If you look at the penis and you look at the vagina, when a man gets an erection, his penis fills with blood, right? But in order for his penis to fill with blood, he has to fill with a desire for the woman. When a man fills with a sexual desire for a woman, his penis fills with blood. And then what does he do with his erect penis? Again, this is for mature audiences only. What does a guy do with his erect penis? Once he's filled with desire, and then he's filled with blood in his penis, what does he do with that? He fills the woman's vagina with his penis. And so in an interesting sort of spiritual, metaphysical, whatever the fuck you want to call it, symbolic way, the woman, her vagina, the O, is lacking something. It's missing something. Something's not there inside of her. She lacks something. But then what does the guy do? With his penis filled with his desire for her in the form of an engorged penis filled with blood, he then fills her with his desire for her. The woman has a very passive role, which should be obvious, when you think about it. I mean, generally speaking, she just sits there and the guy is the one thrusting her with his penis. The man is filling her with his desire for her. The woman has a very passive role. She lacks something. She's the hole. She's the emptiness. And then here, my Bluetooth speaker, when you switch it from O, you see, there's no lights, it's off, it's on the O, and you switch it to the on, suddenly the lights turn on, and it's full of life. It's full of life and it's full of energy. Look at the blue light of life and energy when it's on the one, the stick-looking penis object, okay? Suddenly full of life. And isn't it interesting that the man, he brings the woman the seed of life, the sperm. The man brings the woman the seed of life, the sperm. So, I think it's very interesting, and I think it's very symbolic, and I think it tells us something about the nature of sexuality between man and woman, and how it goes against all the things that the mainstream culture is trying to tell you about how women operate on a sexual level, and how men should operate on a sexual level. We have this idea, especially the feminists love to push the whole slut walk thing, and the whole slut walk thing is basically about encouraging women to become the initiators. You go out there and you go find a man. You can be sexually promiscuous. You can take it upon yourself to wrap yourself in sexuality. Instead of just waiting around for some guy to come along one day and say, I want you, and then you spread your legs for him. Historically, men have always had the initiator role in sexuality. And I think that symbolically, metaphysically, spiritually, evolutionarily, men are supposed to be the initiators of sexuality. But see, there's a problem. Because being an initiator of sexuality is politically incorrect. If you're a man, it's okay to shame rapists, but there's a difference between raping a woman and a woman having regrets the next morning because she just happened to have regrets. Like, if you consented to it at the time, you can't just say, you know what, I didn't like that. You're a rapist. Like, no, you consented. You can't just... So, the false rape culture hysteria, the shaming of street harassment, where the very notion of just being polite and kind to a girl and saying, hi, I think you're attractive, is lumped into the category of, quote, street harassment, demonizing men, saying, what kind of woman wants to talk to a guy in the middle of a street corner? Well, who the fuck are you to say a woman wouldn't want to talk to a guy on a fucking street corner? Who are you to sanction when and where it's okay for a man to become the initiator? The thing is that the initiator role of the man is being shamed. It's demonized. It's painted as politically incorrect. But I think that historically men do have the initiator role. And I think that's what this study shows. The guy goes and he takes what he wants. He has the initiator role. The man, if being, an aggressive alpha male is such a bad thing, and you should be, we have to be so concerned about consent even while women are playing hard to get, which muddies the waters of consent. That's right. Women who play hard to get are muddying the waters of consent. Because when she does that, she actually likes the guy, but she's pretending to not like him, either because she just enjoys the thrill of the chase, or because she's testing him to see if he's assertive enough that even when she pretends to not like him, is this man confident, grounded, and assertive enough to still go after me even when I say no? That is rape baiting. Basically, playing hard to get is rape baiting. So women, on one level, feminists, love to target men and say they're the rapists, they're the perpetuators of the rape culture, but they ignore that women are playing fucking hard to get. And why would a woman play hard to get? Because maybe when you're the O, when you are the O, symbolically represented as femininity, when you are the O, the emptiness, sitting back, doing nothing, turned off, just sitting there, and then you get turned on when you switch it to the one, and the light turns on, the one. When you're just the O sitting there, maybe what you crave is life, and vigorous life. life that is full of energy, and that comes, and comes, C-U-M, comes, and it comes, and it's unrelenting, and it's assertive, and it knows what it's doing, and it's confident. Symbolically represented as a penis or the masculine. And it's interesting because if you think about the 1 and the 0, these are fundamental. Some would argue, Tom Campbell would argue this, that our universe is a digital simulation. And a key feature of digital physics, of digital computer systems, is the 1 and the 0. Interesting, isn't it? Maybe these are fundamental properties of our reality, the 1 and the 0. And you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that the only way you can have children, the only way you can create life, is when the 1 and the 0 come together. In sex. You see it? The masculine and the feminine. The feminine is the passive, the sitting there with no real direction. The masculine is the 1. I mean, think about it. It's almost like it looks like a penis. It's the 1. It's assertive. It's pointed. It's direct. And it comes inside of the woman. Comes inside. It literally goes inside. Comes, C-O-M-E-S. And then it, C-U-M-S, comes inside the woman. And that's when you get life. These are not coincidences, guys. This means something. And of course, this would indicate that, of course, feminism is anti-reality. Feminism is fundamentally anti-reality, anti-nature, and that's why it's destructive and ultimately lethal, because it will lead to the downfall of the civilization. So when you lose touch with where you came from, your nature, who you are at a fundamental level, this is what I'm pretty sure the way life works, you lose touch with the life force that creates civilizations in the first place. So if you ever see feminism in a society really taking over, that's because that society is crumbling. And you better turn the ship around fast, or it ain't gonna last much longer. And you know, fucking the Islamic patriarchy, where the woman generally, for the most part, she has the extreme 0 role, and the man has the extreme 1 role. That patriarchal Islamic culture will take over the next one, because that's where the life force energy is. So, yeah, you know, just to elaborate a little bit more, yes, the man fills with a desire for the woman. His penis fills with blood because he's full of desire for the woman. And then he fills the woman's empty hole, her vagina, with his desire for her. So in a way, you could argue that the woman, what she enjoys about sex is the man's desire for her. It's almost like a very narcissistic. The feminine energy could be described as narcissistic. It gets off on how a man craves her. I mean, what is the man pounding her with? When he fills her vagina with his penis, what is he giving her? He's giving her his desire for her. Think about that. Because he doesn't have, if a man doesn't desire a woman, he's not going to have an erection. In order for him to get an erection to fill her vagina with, and then pound her and please her, he needs to fill with a desire for her. So when he's pounding her, what the woman is really receiving is his desire for her. The woman is just relishing in the fact that the man craves her and wants her deeply. And that's basically what the romance novels talk about. If you take a look here, according to the study, derived from the tape, it says here, the tape's material, derived from the kind of storylines often found in romance novel, tells the tale of a male protagonist who is strongly attracted to the female character. He expresses a desire for sex with her, but she's clearly unresponsive. Unresponsive. Notice the word, unresponsive. The 0, just sitting there doing nothing, unresponsive. He attempts to convince her. The 1 is persistent. It is assertive. It keeps going. He attempts to convince her without success, and she continues to refuse his advances. The male character then overpowers and rapes her. She resists throughout and at no time gives consent. However, as the man is attractive to her and provides erotic stimulation, she does experience gratification from the forced sex. Researchers found that 52% of the women had fantasies about forced sex with a man, 32% about being raped, and 28% about forced oral sex with a man. Overall, 62% of the women reported having had at least one fantasy around a forced sex act. There you have it. I mean, what else needs to be said here? Okay? The women were aroused by a rape fantasy where she resists the guy and the guy keeps going after her. Okay? If the penis symbolically represents a desire for a woman, and the woman is ultimately getting sexual pleasure when he fills her with his desire for her, when he puts his penis into her vagina, his penis, which is only filled because he's full of a desire for her, he only gets an erection if he fills with a desire for her, then his blood fills with penis, and then he fills her with his desire for her. The more a woman pushes the guy away in this game called playing hard to get, the more the woman pushes him away, yet the more he tries to force himself on her because he can't help himself. He wants her so bad. The more in her mind, that indicates just how bad he wants it. And if she's ultimately getting sexual pleasure by being filled with his desire for her, the more he desires her, the more it gratifies her. The 1 and the 0. The 0, the off switch, waiting for, turn it on, boop, the life to come in. Look at the blue light of life to come in, guys. To come in, guys. Think about this, guys. So you want to know why women play hard to get? Well, fundamentally, you could argue it has to do with how much does the man want it. And you can maybe go down evolutionary paths. The more a man wants a girl, the more likely he's willing to die for her, fight for her, provide resources for her. That might be the evolutionary background. But the point is, you see these interesting symbolic dynamics. These are not coincidences, guys. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey is such a huge fucking phenomenon? So, controversial ideas, yes. But grounded in science and studies? Absolutely. Grounded in the anecdote of 50 Shades of Grey, a worldwide phenomenon with millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of fucking copies sold? Absolutely. So I know this is a hardcore topic, but it's one that has to be discussed. So yes, I think when the woman is resisting, that's almost in her mind, she's building up. She's building up the sexuality, the tension, the sexual tension. Because the more the man wants her, the more likely he's going to persist onto her even when she resists. And yes, playing hard to get is a real phenomenon. We all know about it. We've all heard about it. Don't try to act. I know any male feminist watching would be like, how dare you say that, man? Women are just little angels. They will never do something like that. They like nice little men like me that they can pat on the head. No, they don't like you. They like you because they can use you. They don't like you sexually. Their vaginas dry up into a fucking sandy crust thinking about you little male fucking feminist white knights. So yes, the man fills with desire for the woman. His penis fills with blood as a result. And then he fills her vagina with his desire for her. The man is the one. He is the power. He is the key in the keyhole. He unlocks things. He brings the life energy essence. Look at this turn on. Look at it light up with life. He brings the life energy essence. He actually brings the seed, the sperm, the seed of life that he implants in the woman, and then life comes. Children come out of that. Babies are born out of that. So maybe women crave masculine assertiveness. And maybe when a woman craves masculine assertiveness at a fundamental level based on her femininity, that will probably explain to you why they play hard to get. Why they like rape fantasies. Because if a guy is willing to rape a woman for sex with her, that must mean he really wants it, doesn't he? In many ways, you could argue that in the paradigm of the women's romance novel, in the paradigm of this University of Texas study, the women are actually aroused by the lack of consent. Consent is boring in the context of this study from the University of North Texas. Consent is boring. Why are women looking up ultraviolet gang rape porn? Maybe because if a man is so filled with a desire for a woman that he's willing to risk getting arrested, risk raping her, risk all this stuff, man, that's like sexual desire for her on steroids. And so maybe that would explain it to you. And again, I'm not shaming women in any of this. I'm just pointing out the observable facts. I love and accept women and their feminine sexuality. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it prompts, we are part of the yin-yang, the man and the woman, the masculine and feminine. Together, we are partners in crime in the cosmos. Bonnie and Clyde, dancing this eternal ballet to the tune of the solar system, if you want to get poetic with shit. And we've been doing it since the dawn of time, and I think to deny that, to repress that, is not good. And I think it will literally lead to the destruction of civilizations, and it's happened many times throughout civilization. And so if you see feminism growing in your environment, watch out. It's a bad sign. And feminists are constantly accused of having obsessions with rape fantasies. It makes total sense. Why do you think feminists love to align with Islam? Because a feminist, deep down, what they're thinking is, manly patriarchal men who will fucking, chain me up in a dungeon and put a fucking burqa over my head. And they're like, yeah, that sounds fucking good to me. Hey, man. Hey, don't blame me. So again, guys, thank you for watching. As you can see here, gender equality t-shirts. We're splitting the bill because these hoes claim they want equality, but they don't respect it when you treat them with equality. Their vaginas get very dry. So always split the bill on your dinner dates, guys, because believe it or not, to split the bill is to treat her equally. Because if she's roided up on feminism and she claims she wants to be treated independently, nothing will make her vagina turn wetter on a first date than telling her we're splitting the bill. You think I'm joking? I'm not fucking joking. That'll make her vagina just ooze out oceans of fucking vaginal fluid. Because what you're doing is you're asserting your masculine authority. You're asserting the fact that you're a confident man. You're asserting the fact that it's sort of, here I am. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going in this fucking video because we're going deep. We already went deep, so let's just keep going. By the way, guys, this, might as well say it out. This was a shirt plug. Links to the shirts are in the description below. Let me finish off here. And the card above. Men, if it's true that women are not as strong as men are on average, if it's true that women on average are more emotional than men are, if it's true that because women are more emotional, they're less interested in intellectual topics, on average, not always, then that would mean that men on average are smarter and stronger and less emotional than women are, on average. Not always, but on average. Of course, there's some women who are more rational and stronger and stable emotionally than some men, but we're talking about averages here. Given these averages, to treat a woman equally, if you're a man, to treat a woman equally is to treat her, is to acknowledge where she's lesser than you. To acknowledge where she's lesser than you, as opposed to pretending that she's equal to you. If a person is lesser to you in some areas, it doesn't mean that you lack respect for them, but it means it certainly changes your relationship to the person. If a woman knows that you're stronger than she is, she should be smart enough to know not to lay her hands on you, not to be aggressively physical to provoke you. Can she defend herself in self-defense? Of course she can. No one's talking about that. But she should know that because you're stronger than her, she needs to be careful. Wait a minute, this guy could fucking hurt me in any moment. Let me not fuck with him and let me not provoke with him. Let me not provoke him. So the inherent gender differences, to actually respect a woman, to actually treat her like an adult, is to acknowledge her shortcomings compared to you. And to acknowledge her strengths over you. And she has some strengths over you. And as a result, treating somebody with respect is not necessarily pretending that they're completely equal to you. And that's really what's going on in this t-shirt. Gender equality. We're splitting the bill. She's going to claim that she's equal to you. Well, if that's true, then you're just like one of my male buddies. And we're going to split the bill. I never pick up the bill for my male buddies. We split the bill. We do things fairly here. So if she wants to claim she's equal, you got to treat her as equal. Now, if she claims that she's a fucking damsel in distress, and, you know, she's a very passive woman who just, you know, she'll fucking gobble your cock every day as long as you take care of her financially, and she just cooks sandwiches for you in the kitchen. You know, if that's the agreement you have, then maybe you could pick up the bill, because she's not pretending to be equal to you. Anyways, guys, that's a long video. Thank you guys for watching. T-shirts are below. You like my videos, support my videos, buy a t-shirt, wear this on your first date. She'll fucking laugh her ass off. Every girl I've ever walked in front of with this shirt on shits her pants with fucking glee. They love it. So, pick a shirt up now and wear it on your first date and let me know how it goes. Thank you guys for watching.